In this tutorial, we're going to take a look at some of the ways that we can go about editing our audio recordings within Studio Pro 8. Now, before we get started, just know that I do provide one-on-one training if you'd like to speed up your learning curve for Studio Pro. You can check out the pinned comment below or the description area of this video for more information. Now, we actually need some audio to work with, so I'm just going to press T to bring up the add tracks. Let's add a mono audio track. I'll click on OK. Let's zoom in on this. I'm just pressing Shift and E, and I'm going to press R to enter into record arm. Take the monitoring off so we don't have that feedback. And now I'm just going to press record, and then this is going to record my narration so that we have an audio event to work with here. So now I'm just going to press the space bar to stop. And now we've got an audio event. Let's come to the bottom right hand corner and close out our browser. Clicking outside of the event will deselect it. Now I'm going to press the comma to take our playback cursor to the beginning of the song. And let's take the record arm off. Now you'll notice here that my narration came in pretty quiet here. The signal is pretty low. And that's partly due to the fact that I'm using the laptop microphones on my computer, which are not the best. So one of the first things that we could do to our audio is changing its level. So here we have a low recording. Now preferably you'll get something a bit hotter than this. If you're using a audio interface, you shouldn't have an issue. But as we hover on this event, you'll see that we have 3 points that show up at the top of our event. Now this center one I can left click hold and drag up. This is going to increase the gain of this audio recording. Dragging down, we decrease. Now while hovering on our event, we can see that we have a handle in the top right hand corner, and if I grab that, we can introduce a fade out. Let's actually make this a little bit larger here. So again, coming up to the top right, we can introduce a fade out. In the top left, we can introduce a fade in. Now hovering at either end, our single arrow changes to double arrows, and I can left click hold and then trim this event. Now you may notice that this is jumping a little bit or snapping. Let's change the quantized value from 16th to quarter note. Now this is going to be a bit more obvious. You can see that this is now snapping to quarter note subdivisions as I trim. Now this is because our snap is turned on. This button here is our snap, so if I disengage that, then I can freely trim this and be as precise as I would like. And of course this is going to work exactly the same on the front end. I can trim that like so. Now if I'd like to move this event, so I'd like to add some space in the front here, I can just left click and hold. You'll really want to do this at the bottom half of the event if you have your smart arrow tool turned on. I have mine off at the moment. That's this bracket here. So if I turn this on, the tool is going to function much differently. If I left click and hold here, I'm selecting a portion of this event, whereas if I come to the bottom, we have the single arrow. Notice the crosshairs change, and then I can left click hold and drag to change that position. Now with our smart arrow mode turned on now with this bracket, when I hover at the top and select this range, I can then press the delete key and remove that portion out. Let's undo that. And also I want to mention that our snap, we turned that off a moment ago, but if this is engaged, then this is going to affect most of our tools. Now you can see this vertical bar that indicates where we're going to be selecting our range is now, that range is snapping to the quarter note subdivision that we have selected here because our snap is turned on. Now I can again press delete and remove that out. Let's Control Z to undo. I can also move down to the bottom where our crosshair changes to the arrow, left click hold and drag this to move that portion like so. I could also right click on this separated event, and then I can come down to audio and send this to a impact or a new sample 1. Let's choose the sample 1. And now we have this separated event loaded up into our sample 1. Let's normalize that and we can increase the level like so. Okay, let's right click on our instrument track and we'll remove that track and instrument. Let's actually just undo and put everything back as it was. Now if I'd like to split this event into multiple, I can come to the split tool and just click once to select that. And then now you can see our snap is on and set to quarter note. So that snap tool, the vertical bar letting us know where the cut's going to be made, is snapping to those quarter note subdivisions. Again, if I'd like to be more precise, I can turn the snap off by clicking here or pressing in, as in never, on your QWERTY keyboard to turn that off. And you can see that I can really be as precise as I'd like to be with my cuts. Now for me, I have my split tool as my optional tool or alternate tool. So when I go back to the arrow tool, we have the arrow at the bottom, our crosshairs up at the top because we're in smart arrow mode. If I turn that off, we just have the arrow no matter where we hover. But if I hold down Control, let's click outside of there to deselect. I'll hold Control and you notice that our arrow changes to the split tool and I can then make our cuts. And that is because we have this blue underline here. Now I can repeatedly press 1 at the top of my QWERTY keyboard and it's going to move that blue line to these other tools. Or we can click on this downward facing arrow. I'll select the mute tool. And now when I hold Control, instead of switching to the paint tool or the split tool, we change to the mute tool. And I can mute these events like so. Clicking again, we toggle the mute off. So whatever this blue underline is under, when you hold Control, it's going to switch to that tool. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this back on the split tool. Now we also have in between our arrow and the split, the range tool. Now this is just going to be the crosshairs again, and this is going to allow us to select the range. Whether we're at the top or the bottom, we'll just have the range tool active all the time. Now let's move on to our eraser, and we can just come in and click to erase events like so, but we'll go ahead and bring those back. We then have our paint tool, which is in a transform mode. That's a bit beyond this tutorial, but normally we're on freehand and we can draw in empty events. So this is not really going to affect us when we're editing our audio. Unless you draw over your event, then you're not going to hear this play back. But let's go ahead and again undo. We've seen our mute tool selecting. We can mute our audio events like so. We then have a bend tool, and if I select this and start clicking, we don't really see anything that's happening, but if I right click on this event and choose to show our bend markers, we'll see those markers that I just recently added. Now I can then hover on one of these markers, left click, hold, and drag left or right, and we're going to stretch or compress our audio. When it's red, we know that that's being stretched. The more we stretch, the deeper the red. Now the green is being compressed, and you can see that also, the shade changes depending on how much that's being compressed. Okay, now to remove these, we can just double click and take these out. You can see that our waveform returns to the gray color, letting us know that no adjustments or warping of the audio is occurring. Now finally, we have our listen tool. This is not so much editing, but if you are working on editing and want to have a tool that can help you identify where problem areas are, you can select the listen tool. Anywhere you click within the track is going to solo this track. So now I'm just going to press the spacebar and play back from that area. An audio event to work. Now let's switch back to the arrow tool, and I'm going to right click on our event. Let's take the bend marker view off, and just know that whenever you right click on your audio events, you have a ton of different options that are available here. You can see your file tempo, but we can double click and put in a new tempo there. We can speed up or slow down. So if I were to put in 0.5, then we're going to play back at half speed. We can transpose our audio in semitones, or we can tune it in cents. We've already seen the bend marker view. Now if I click on this box for the gain curve, we now have this horizontal white line. I can come in and add points and then make adjustments to the gain of our event. Hovering in between 2 points and moving towards the top, we switch to the trim tool. I can left click, hold, and drag up or down to adjust the level in between our points like so. Let's undo. We'll right click on our event again and turn the gain curve off. We now have a pitch curve that's available in version 8.1. So we can see we have a similar horizontal line. And if I play back from bar 2, this is going to record my narration so that we have an audio event. Okay, so let's put a point here at bar 2. And just notice I'm able to freely put these points here because our snap is off. Again, this snap function is going to affect most of our tools, so just be aware of that. Now when I want to add the points, I'm snapping to the quarter note subdivisions. So we'll come here to 3.3, and then let's left click hold and pull that up, and then start playback from bar 2 again.
This is going to record my narration so that we have an audio.
Okay, so you can hear clearly how that works, and as you can imagine, we can grab that point, pull that down, and then now
this is going to record my narration so that we have an audio event to work with here.
Okay, now that is our pitch curve. We can bypass it or our gain curve by clicking on these buttons here if you want to temporarily bypass without undoing the points that you've added. But I'm going to go ahead and, well, let's just show let's actually just double click, we can remove points out like that. We'll again right click, turn that off. Now something to be aware of is that if you'd like to protect your audio event from being edited, we do have a time lock. So if I check this box, then if I try to move this event left or right, it's not going to go anywhere because it is locked in position. And you can see we have a little indicator here in the bottom left corner letting us know that that's locked. Let's disengage that and turn on our edit lock. Now you can see that we have a different icon here letting us know that this is locked. So if I hold Control and switch to the split tool, I cannot make any cuts to this event. If I right click again, we can put both of these on and the icon changes to a lock here in the bottom left corner, letting us know that we have time lock and edit lock engaged on this event. Let's go ahead and turn these off. Now, of course, we have traditional cut, copy, paste controls for our audio events. Those are going to function just as similar as if you were to select a word or block of text within Word and copy paste that. We can duplicate our audio by coming here and selecting duplicate. Now a simpler way would just be to be sure that your event is selected by clicking once. Then I can press D as in dog on the QWERTY keyboard and that will be duplicated. Now let's right click again. And just to finish up, note that we have a section here for audio, and within this menu, this submenu, there is a ton of different options that we have for extracting drum, extracting notes. We can normalize the audio, and you can see that any actions that have shortcut keys, those shortcut keys are going to be displayed to the right of that particular action. We can edit in Melodyne by pressing Ctrl or M or clicking on this field here. We've got some actions for adjusting our level or volume curves. We've got audio bend functions, chords, and as we saw earlier in the tutorial, we can send to a new sample 1 or impact and create new clip versions. So as you can see, there's a ton of different things that we could do with our audio within Studio Pro, and I've just been working with the main arrange view for the audio editing. But if I were to double click on this audio event, we do open up the editor down below and we can resize this, or even click on this upward facing arrow to detach and make this full screen if we wanted to do some hardcore audio editing on a really zoomed in level. If we'd like to reattach, then we can click on the downward facing arrow up here. That's now reattached. And we have similar tools that we can make use of as we saw up above. We can access these tools by using the number keys at the top of our QWERTY keyboard. So if I press the 3, we switch to the split tool, 4 is our erase, 5 the paint, and so on. Now it's changing our tools down below because you can see the blue border is around our edit window. Now, if I were to click in our arrange view, that blue frame is now surrounding our arrange view. And then when I press my number keys, take note of our tools, we're now changing the selection up above. Okay, so this has been a look at editing audio within Studio Pro 8.1. I hope this has been useful. And again, if you would like to speed up your learning curve with Studio Pro or Studio One, I do provide one-on-one web training over Zoom, and you can find out more information on that in the pinned comment below or the description area of this video. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next tutorial.